what will happen to the third dimension after we go into the fifth? I have a feeling there's more than one thing that can happen to a dimension as we move on to another. One thing is what happened to Mars. We destroyed Mars when we were in the third dimension. The majority of us there moved into the fifth dimension. Some of us that did not manage to move into the fifth dimension still live on Mars, but underground, because it is safer. For many reasons. The main reason is radiation on the surface. And a large number came to Earth. However, in our case, what I'm seeing every time with sessions and when we astral travel into the future, it is the same Earth, the same land. It is just different. Because we are fifth dimensional, our thinking and our beliefs become fifth dimensional. And because in the fifth dimension, the belief of lack doesn't exist. Nobody believes that there isn't enough. So we act differently, we build differently, we live differently. Simply from that one belief alone. That changes everything once you understand that there is no lack. Once we understand that there is no lack. A second thing that changes everything completely in the fifth dimension is the fact that we know we are immortal. We know we can live in this body as long as we like. This also changes everything because there is no rush to do everything now or to put things aside for when we get old, because there is no such thing as getting old. We stay young until we have learned everything we wanted to learn, and then we go back home. We leave a young body behind. We do not die of old age. Now, the transition. What will happen to the third dimension? Okay, a lot of people don't like hearing this, but it's part of the transition. Many people are going to go back home. In human languages, they are going to die. So there will be so much more I have to rephrase this. Sometimes I talk to people, and when I say we're going to build totally new cities, just where the old cities are, and they say things like, we cannot afford to buy everything to demolish it, to build new. Yes, but you see, if 1 in 3 people are dead, then you can afford to buy everything and demolish it, simply because most buildings will be empty. This is also something that happens in the fifth dimension. There is a lot less of us. Every time I take a client astral traveling to the future, they all, without exception, will say one phrase that is the same as everybody else's. There are a lot less people. What happened to the people? And when you see that every single person says the same thing, it doesn't take long before you figure out that we are going to be fewer in the fifth dimension. We will not be 7.3 billion and growing. Another thing they always mention is that the light is very different. I have a feeling because a few times that I did manage to see the fifth dimension, I saw that the sun was white instead of this yellow gold color. So it's quite different from what it is now. I'm assuming our fifth dimensional sun has more of a white color. Now, what will happen to third dimensional Earth? I really don't believe it's going to become like Mars. I think we will transform the Earth into the fifth dimension. I really don't think Earth will exist in the third dimension anymore, meaning it will not have a third dimensional body. It will just have a fifth dimensional body and above. So just like we are changing ourselves, we still have the same body, but our bodies will look healthier. They will have this glow around them, and our consciousness will be much wider, much more spread out. This is what will happen to our Earth as well, to our third dimension. We're going to make it lighter, and there will be a certain glow to it. But all this will be because our minds will be glowing. We will be thinking so much more differently than we are now. This is not going to happen from one day to the next. However, as the veil comes down more and more, it will happen faster and faster. You see, we need to understand that the fifth dimension is not a geographical place. It's a state of being. It's a state of thinking. And when we reach that state of thinking, everything around us will change as well. Right now, because our thinking is still, I don't want to say based on fear, because it sounds too much of a cliche. But it is based on lack. Our thinking is still based on there isn't enough. We still have billions of people in the world that condemn people that have money. You would only do this if you believed that there isn't enough. So the ones that have should give to the ones that have not. But as you realize that there is more than enough, all you need to do is get yourself into the flow, then you will stop believing there isn't enough, and this will change the planet. You see, no one will go to war if they believe that there is more than enough. No one would be petty, and no one would be demanding, and no one would have the feeling of entitlement if we understand that there is more than enough. There is no lack. This understanding alone can move us into the next dimension. All the other things will help, but they are all side effects. The main drug is to understand there is no lack. It is in our mind and in our belief. Of course, we hold on to the belief as well because we like condemning other people. And we like... See, it is easier to say the rich should give me money rather than go out there and get ourselves into the flow of money. And we always choose the easy way out. Okay, this has nothing to do with what will happen to the third dimension, but nothing will happen to it. We will slowly transform it into a fifth dimension. It really doesn't take much. It takes a change of thinking and a few trees. That's all. Really, that is all. Well, it does take one more thing. Every last person on earth will be vegan. That will also quickly move us into the next dimension, simply because the vibration of a vegan diet is much higher, much lighter. Not better, there is no good or bad, better or best, nothing. Simply, it's a much lighter vibration. And because we want to go into this much lighter vibration, changing our diet will be one of the express routes there. Not the only one, but probably the most necessary one. But don't torture yourself if you cannot do it right now. There is a right time for everything. I will leave it at this.